Hello, and welcome to another episode of Ordinary Icons. This is another episode to where we're going to feature trailblazing women from the Texarkana USA area. Now, in case you are not aware, Texarkana is a twin city, and we have two states, one city name, Texarkana, Texas, and Texarkana, Arkansas. And we have quite a few trailblazers from this region that you may not know about. My name is Bess Gamble Williams, and I want to introduce you to three of these trailblazers that are from this area. The first trailblazer that I'd like to speak to you about is a relative in my family. Her name is Jessalyn Gray, and Jessalyn attended Dunbar High School. So did her sister, Mary Helen Gray, which is now Mary Helen Florence. If you were in Texarkana and you ever visited the Dillard store in our Central Mall, you would have seen my Aunt Helen in there. Jessalyn excelled so well at Dunbar High School. She was smart that she was given a scholarship by the local NAACP, along with another young man named Stephen Poston. The both of them passed the aptitude test, and in the fall of 1956, they went to enroll on the campus of what was then called the Texarkana Junior College, now known as Texarkana College. When they arrived, there were a mob of 500 white protesters. They had everything from a loose noose in a tree, as well as ugly signs of discrimination and hatred. They even had their children there as young as 2 years old holding signs. I can tell you that had it not been for the good neighbor of ours in Rose Hill, Mr. Vernon Goodlow, who owned the Red Top Cab company that you would see in the photographs that were taken by Life magazine's photographer, he was the one that helped come in and rescue them. And I can tell you that when they were there trying to enroll, not only did they have stones thrown at them, Stephen was also kicked. They had Rangers there, Texas Rangers were there, and local sheriff's department. But to no avail. Dr. Stillwell, who was there at the time, the president of Texarkana Junior College, did not want the students to enroll. As a matter of fact, he was quoted as saying, allowing blacks into this college would lower the educational standards. It didn't stop Jessalyn nor Stephen. As a matter of fact, once the NAACP heard about that, another scholarship was given to Jessalyn, and that was from Mrs. Juanita Craft of Dallas, Texas, who was also a trailblazer and an esteemed member of society there. Through Mrs. Juanita Craft, that scholarship was managed for Jessalyn, and she was also allowed to attend the North Texas State University that they had at that time. Mrs. Craft, along with several others, they founded and started local branches of NAACP across the state of Texas. So much so there were 187 chapters. This lady was also, Mrs. Craft, was also the first black woman to vote in Dallas County. You may want to check up on her as well. But back to Jessalyn. Through Mrs. Craft, Jessalyn completed her education, she was accepted, and she excelled. Now I know that you're probably asking, well, since they didn't succeed in enrolling that day, when did they start enrolling in Texarkana at the Texarkana College? It took another 7 years. So in 1963, they finally desegregated and allowed black students to attend Texarkana College. And I can tell you, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was a thing that helped. It was the law that came into effect, and now all students could attend Texarkana College. That is a very proud moment and a very proud historical marker in our family that has made all of us proud of Jessalyn. And she is one of our history makers in our family. The next person that I would like to speak with you about is from Texarkana, Arkansas. And her name is Irma Dansby Pondexter. Miss Pondexter and I know each other, and I've known her since I retired and came back home. Miss Pondexter is a go-getter, and she was here along with the Civil Rights Movement, same as my mother. They were during the same time. It was through Mrs. Pondexter that she had achieved so much after 5 decades of giving her leadership on the front lines, not only did she put herself out front, but she put herself in danger. For instance, there was a moment in time where she was not only an integral part of Texas schools being desegregated, but she was one of the folks that went and protested for black employees to be allowed to go through the front doors of businesses downtown rather than in the back. She was a part of that. She was also one of the protesters and leaders that went out to what was then called Texarkana Dam. It's now been renamed as the Wright-Pittman Dam. And while she was there, she went along with 20 other students, black students, to the white side of this lake, and they went swimming. Well, of course, police came and arrested all of them. As a matter of fact, there was so many arrests, they had to send some of them as far away as Linden, Texas. But I'll tell you that the national NAACP, they got wind of that, and they were so enamored with all of her work that she had done that they invited her to the March on Washington, in which she did attend. And I remember reading about her saying that, times were hard during these times, but my parents gave me $15. And during those 5 days I was there, I ate crackers, cheese, and sodas. You see, sometimes you have to sacrifice for those things that you know will come true. So with all of her efforts and everything that she's done as far as leadership for the civil rights in Texarkana city government finally recognized Miss Pondexter, and they gave her the Lifetime Achievement Award, in addition to naming a park after her. The park was commonly known as Hobo Jungle Park because many hobos were coming down from up north, and they'd jump off and stop here in our city of Texarkana, so it became Hobo Park. Well, she has now been honored with the distinction of having it named after her, and it is now called Irma Dansby Pondexter Sportsplex. So it's on the Texarkana, Arkansas side, and it is nice and it's beautiful and it's well attended. So I can tell you this park meant a lot to Miss Pondexter, because not only did she want black people to attend, she wanted the park to be for all people, which it is and which it stands for now. She's a leader, and she's also an icon that not only am I proud to know and honored to know, but she's quite a lady. And our next icon that we want to speak about, she also is from Texarkana, Arkansas. You may not have heard of her, but her name is Iola, very country name by the way, Iola Vivian Johnson. And Iola was the first woman and the first black African American that was hired in Dallas, Texas. She appeared on the WFAA news broadcast, and she had the longest and most successful run of any broadcaster. It was so much so that they named her as the most popular black woman in Dallas, as the magazine cover shows you. So I want you to know these three trailblazers came from Texarkana, Texas, and they are history makers that we can all admire and we can all say we're proud to know came from this region of Texas. Right in the northeast corner of Texas is the place called Texarkana USA, and we serve Texarkana, Texas, and Texarkana, Arkansas, and we have served up some beautiful, honorable black women from this area. This is History Month for 2022, and I want to thank you for joining us this evening, and we have more to come, so we'll see you next time. Thank you for joining us this evening.